Hey, Pathways Church. It's TJ Norman, your high school and young adult pastor here with your daily dose. And this week, again, we're continuing to explore the good news in the book of Mark. Today, we're going to focus on Mark chapter 2, verses 13 and 14, where Jesus calls out Levi to follow him. Here it is. Once again, Jesus went out beside the lake. A large crowd came to him, and he began to teach them. As he walked along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," Jesus told him. And Levi got up and followed him. In today's passage, Jesus breaks away and the crowd follows him as he walks along the shore. He stops to teach, and perhaps this is when he delivered the Sermon on the Mount, which Mark omits in his book. Mark instead focuses on the attention of one individual, and that was the tax collector Levi. Days earlier, while walking along the shore, Jesus called his first four disciples and two sets of brothers. None of the four had volunteered, and they were drafted. And the same is true for Levi, whom we know as Matthew. We see no record of him running up to Jesus and saying, "Man, I want to follow you. Will you let me?" We have something in common with the four and with Levi. None of us usually feel worthy enough to follow Jesus. We think of him looking for someone more qualified, more holy, more eloquent, better prepared, and more experienced. Jesus comes to us nevertheless to say, "Follow me." Like the first disciples, you don't know where that will take you. None of the first five followers could have imagined the course of events over the next years. James, for example, couldn't foresee that he would be the martyr early on, and his brother John had no inkling that he would live the longest. Levi didn't know how he would write the gospel that opens up the New Testament. The Lord never shows us the full picture. He just asks us to take the next step. Like Levi, though, he had to be willing to get up. Had Levi continued to sit at his tax post and ignored or declined Jesus' invitation, he would have missed his destiny in life. I can almost hear the murmur of what went up from the two seats of his brothers as well. "So, Lord, we can't stand with this man. Levi has been a tax collector for the Romans. He collects tariffs from us, pays off the Romans, and then keeps him for himself. Surely you wouldn't ask us to hang out with the likes of him." But when you start walking with Jesus, you find out you don't always follow him by yourself. You don't always get to choose Jesus' friends. His friends must also become ours as well, even when their viewpoints or personalities totally diverge from your own. As we reflect on Levi's story, let's consider our own response to Jesus' call. Are there things in our lives that we need to leave behind to fully follow after Jesus? Jesus' call to follow me is a call to transformation, purpose, and a new identity in him. That's all for today's Daily Dose. Join me again tomorrow as we continue to look at the good news of Mark.